All right, welcome back to Helos and Homies. I'm here with a dear friend of mine, known him since the age of 5. Jake Ayers, how are you today, brother?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Good, bro. Good. I'm happy to be here. Are you happy to be here?
I've been thinking about it all week. Can't wait.
Now, for those new to this, Jake is the co-owner of Body Beyond Health Club, which will be opening, by the time this comes out, it comes out in 2 weeks. So
It'll 100% be open.
Yeah.
Give me 10 days, I'll have it open.
Yeah, it'll come out in 10 days this.
Yeah,
so
sweet.
Body Beyond Health Club, at the time of launching this podcast, will be opening, which Jake is half owner in.
Wouldn't say half.
Yeah, co-owner.
But yeah, co-owner. Yeah,
Co-owner. Also, number 1 employee at Body Beyond.
Number 1. Employee of the month.
Yeah. And a childhood friend of mine, Riley Kennedy, if you're watching, shout out. Pete, shout out as well. And I'll leave it at that. Shout out Cowbags as well. Let's get into it, Jake.
Let's do it.
The level up.
Yep.
So, as a kid, when we were 5,
Yep.
I was always chubby. And at some point, you were too.
Yeah, fucking hell. That was huge.
And then, to give people backstory, Jake and I went to school together. We've known each other since we were 5. So what's that, 18 years now?
Yeah, something like
Bro,
that.
that's a fucking long time, eh?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
actually
something like I've known Zoffel 23 years and I'm 24.
You met him at preschool.
Yeah, I used to avoid him. I remember again, my mum was always like, go hang out with him. I was like, nah, he's weird. And it was because he used to play in the cars by himself. And I was like, I ain't hanging out with that kid. And then fast forward 20 years, he's my longest friend. And he had this like massive mole on his face as well that he got cut out in primary school. I mean, I was just one of those typical kids that was like anything different I didn't like.
Oh, fucking hell. That's an honest
Love it.
assessment.
Yeah, but I love him to death now.
So we go through primary school together. At some point, you're not like as chubby as me, but you still got a bit of baby fat.
Yeah.
We go into high school and you're a footy player.
Yep.
Notably, like in our grade that came through was like yourself, Davies twins, Jack Hewkins, Jake Kilpatrick. I was pretty good. Like even Pete was all right.
Yeah, we had a pretty good team.
Yeah. And then at some point at Lower Mountains, when you're doing all right, and you're in part of the Penrith system at one point, weren't you?
I did a few
Or like
trials.
the train on thing.
Yeah. The year that I started getting into trials and started pushing up is the year that I got injured.
Yeah.
So I never made it much further.
So that I reckon that changed your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Because let's talk through the injuries.
Yeah.
There's a few, eh?
Yeah, and it's actually quite surreal because Hickey's Lane, that's my home ground, like right there, and I haven't been back since I did my injuries, and now all this infrastructure's built as well.
Yeah.
So I haven't been here since this was all dirt.
Yeah, it used to be paddocks, eh?
Yeah, paddocks, and then the sewage place over the back, so they smell like shit. The first injury was here on this field. I think we were versus Mitchenbury or something, and I lined up the prop. I took him head on, and it was a proper good hit, but I had my left leg dead straight behind me, and all of his weight went onto it. And that buckled and twisted my leg and just blew everything apart in it.
Yeah, so what was it? ACL, wasn't it?
It was ACL, meniscus, and then my MCL was only at about 30%, and my PCL was at about 40%. So it didn't fully tear everything, but it destroyed my ACL. It was like the photo looks like someone blew it up, and then I split my meniscus in half, so they had to remove half of it straight away. And then the next, like did all the rehab for that. It was like 15 months. I was like, all right, I'll get back into footy, and then about 12 months into the 15-month rehab, I tore it again. I was running down the street. I was at Schoolies. And I was just going for a jog down the street, and I stepped on it wrong, and the whole thing just blew up again. I just imploded. And then I got about 6 months through that rehab, just got out of the brace.
So you're 18 now for people listening.
Yeah, 18 now. 6 months through that rehab, everyone's partying. I'm at home in a knee brace, which sucked a bit. And I was just delivering pizza. So I just got back into that. And I was walking down the stairs to go to my shift and stepped on my leg. The same thing happened, just blew up into pieces again. And by that time, they drilled through it so many times that the holes were too big to fit another ACL in. So they had to put a bone graft in. So they took a bit of a hip replacement, chucked it in my leg. I had to wait 6 months for that to heal. And in that 6 months, I didn't have an ACL or meniscus or anything. So my knee was dislocating every 2-3 weeks. I was falling over every time I'd get out of bed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they finally put the new ACL in, and then that's where I'm at now.
Holy fuck.
I'm like probably 3 years post last stop now. But I don't run, I don't jump, I don't sidestep, any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right to me. I can't jump off heights or anything like that.
Yeah, holy
If I
shit.
go bushwalking, I walk slow as fuck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it sucks.
Bro,
it is
I
what it
remember
is.
all that, but I forgot it as well.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot the extent of it. David Goggins has the same thing.
Yeah, his meniscus is gone. So my knee's bone on bone. So there's nothing stopping the bone from rubbing. So if I jump, I can feel my bones crack together. And my knee has like a lot of give in it as well. So my right leg's solid as. My left knee, I can displace my shin about 1/2 inch from my kneecap. so I can stand there and I can pull the joint away from where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So every now and then I'll be walking or running or something, and the whole thing just twists and goes on me again. It doesn't quite tear, but it just doesn't feel right, and then it swells up for a few days. But it's all right because I don't really do much running, nothing anymore anyway.
Yeah. Well, you're a bodybuilder.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's where we're at.
Yep.
So during footy, I'd say you were lean, but you were like well sized, I'd say, like proportionally. Like you were muscly, but you weren't like over muscly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And you were quick, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then these injuries, and then at some point when you hit like, you're already in the gym, but at some point at like 17, 18, 19, bodybuilding picked up.
Yeah, well, that was when I had come to terms that I wasn't getting back to footy. I had to find some sort of competitive outlet. Yeah. And it wasn't going to be running because I always loved sprinting as well. I couldn't do that anymore. Yeah. Gave up on that. And I was already in the gym. I just started progressing in the gym a bit more, focusing more on like bodybuilding style and lifting. I didn't have to do as much squatting or benching or anything like that. Yeah. And I kind of turned to powerlifting for the first part because I was relatively strong. Liked that for a bit, but the squatting always held me back because I couldn't do much whilst I was in rehab with my knee. Yeah. And then eventually turned to bodybuilding. I think when I was 18, I did my first prep for a competition. Yeah. And then from then on, I started just bodybuilding full time. That's it.
Nuts.
Yeah. Still don't classify myself as a bodybuilder, but I don't think I'm big enough.
No, but don't you have championships to your name?
Yeah. I've won bodybuilding comps.
Hold up. Take a minute. Okay. What have you won?
I won
your shit, man.
The IFBB New South Wales Junior State Championship. Yeah. And I won the Australasian Championship for IFBB Elite.
Massive. In
the juniors. And then NABA Southern Hemisphere, I came second in the super heavyweights.
Who came first?
Izzy Hader. He's one of my close mates.
Is he from here?
He's Dural way, but he's.
Oh no, like he's from Australia.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
He's Turkish by trade, but he's a mad. Yeah, he's just one of my best mates. Yeah. Big, heavy duty bloke, nice as. And he's massive. You look on my Instagram, you see the photos. It looks like a child standing next to a man. Yeah. But he's nuts. He's unreal. But I lost to him. If I'm going to lose to anyone, I'm glad it's one of my mates. Yeah. And then at the Elite Pro, I missed my pro card by one placing. I got second in the classic physique overall.
Yeah, right.
So had I got first, I would have become an IFBB pro.
Who came first?
A Brazilian guy. I can't quite remember his name. But
Shout out Brazilians.
Yeah, he looked mad. And he flew in the night before the show. I remember the tanning lady saying, fuck, this guy just rocked up and he wants a tan. And I was like, just let him have it. I wish I wasn't so nice because he ended up pumping me.
Fuck. As if he didn't have jet lag and shit going on, eh?
Oh, but even with it, he still looked unreal.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to him. Like with all that going on, he still won the whole show. Yeah. And then he rocked up 2 weeks later at the national IFBB show and competed there as well. Yeah. So he just didn't mess around.
Crazy. Now, you mentioned it before, pizzas. So
yeah,
you work for people like trying to connect dots right now.
Yep.
Jake works with Stan for the past few years. Yep. Now you're opening a gym with Stan himself. Yep. But before that, we left school, or during school, you work in fucking pizza delivery. Yep. And then we upgraded on the pizza delivery. So I was working at Coles at the time, got 5 for eating a Frankfurt. and then I end up delivering pizzas with you at Labello's, which is sick. Shout out Labello's, shout out Michael, shout out Mika, shout out Chef.
Mika.
Yeah, fuck man. Bro, imagine if you just like brought him in here and he just sat like people being infatuated like with him.
Husball of vibes. Like he lights up the room and everyone just wants to go touch him and take photos with him and like.
I fucking love him. And then from Labello's, at the same time, you were doing uni.
Yep.
And now what have you got a degree in?
Exercise and sports science.
From
exercise and sports management. So it's a double degree from UTS.
Yeah, UTS, that's it. That's nuts.
Yeah, it was good.
4 years?
Yeah. No, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, fast tracked, which was good because a lot of the prerequisites I was doing, I could do. So the average is like 4 units a term or something.
Yeah.
I did 6 per term with mine. Yeah. So I fast tracked and got a year quicker.
So you're doing 12 units a year.
Yeah.
So you did 36 units. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm getting you. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot more workload, and because it's all the way in the city, it sucked a bit. I was on the train every day.
Yeah.
And then in between that, I was building swimming pools, and then at night I was delivering pizza.
Yeah.
So my training went down the drain a little bit, but that's when I did my first prep. Was amongst all that.
Yeah.
And my grades went from like high distinction to passing. My work went from like I was building a swimming pool a day to like it would take me 2-3 days to do a pool.
Yeah.
Just for that prep because I got so brain dead.
Yeah. So yeah, you do all that, you get your degree, and you do that first prep.
Yep.
And at some point during this time, before that first prep, you start working for Stan, don't you?
No, actually, it wasn't until my second prep. So I did my first prep when I was 18.
Yeah.
I started working for Stan when I was 20. So
Yeah,
2 years
shit.
later. So I was just building pools doing uni. So I started with Stan the year I finished uni.
Yeah.
Half of it was because I needed to do placement for uni.
Yeah.
The other half was because he put up an Instagram story and it was just saying I need a casual because he was going down the Arnold Expo to compete.
Yeah.
So I hit him up and then it just worked out from there that I always wanted to get a job in the fitness industry. It was either going to be a supplement shop or in a gym, just to get myself foot in the door, right direction. And that came up on Instagram that night and I sat there for like 20 minutes. I was like, fuck it. Send him a direct message. And then out of like 50 messages, I was the only one that brought my resume in. The next day.
Man.
So he hired me on the spot, which was mad.
Yeah.
Didn't give a shit about my uni degree, my TAFE courses, my diplomas, nothing. He just said, have you prepped before? I was like, yep. And he's like, sweet, when do you want to start?
Yeah, yeah.
That was it.
And all the people here, bro, they didn't give a fuck if I had a uni degree. Trust me.
It honestly doesn't matter. He liked because I had a shirt on that said proud vegan. And I'm probably like as far away from it as you can get. I reckon the meat I eat in a day offsets about 12 vegans. So if you think you're making a difference, you're not. Yeah. And he's like, you're not vegan, are you? I was like, nah. And he's like, okay, sweet. When do you want to start?
And do you ever wonder if you didn't do that day, where life would have taken you? Surely you think about it right now.
I probably would have. Hard to say because at that same time I was talking to Paulie from Revos and he had like a small cleaning job maybe going.
Yeah.
Which didn't eventuate into anything, which I would have loved to work for him. He's a great guy and I love him to death, but I'm glad I went the route with Stan just because of where I am now.
Yeah.
I probably would have kept building swimming pools. My other alternative was eventually keep doing pools for the next 5-6 years and then inherit a partial part of that business.
Yeah.
And keep doing it. But then I didn't like the tradie life. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I liked being paid for knowledge rather than brawn.
Yeah.
I just kept hurting myself.
Yeah.
I'd get home from work all fucked. And it started messing with my training too because if I was cooked from work, I couldn't train that day.
Yeah.
So a much, much better alternative was to sit and do diets and do coaching all day, which is mad.
Yeah. But you mentioned something there. You're going to inherit a business. So at some point you realize you're always going to run your own show. Or to an extent.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to run your own show at least for a partial.
Yep. I was happy with working for people for the first 10 years, but after 10 years, I had to be owning something or doing something for myself. Yeah. Otherwise, I wasn't going to ever be happy. So the idea was I'm just going to buckle down, get as much work as I can done, hustle as hard as I can, and then eventually something's going to happen, and I was going to make sure that it did, always.
Yeah.
This is like the ultimate goal. I always wanted to open a gym, whether it was being
it's come earlier than you thought, eh?
Way earlier, yeah. My goal was like around 27, 28, but I signed the papers when I was 23. And that was like I didn't think I'd ever get it that early, but whether I was a tradesman or whether I was doing supplements and coaching and stuff, either way, it's just going to be saving money for a gym anyway.
Yeah.
But this way I've got all the prerequisite information, knowledge, contacts and everything as well. So it's been a lot easier.
Yeah.
That way it would have just been like saving up heaps more and trying to make something of nothing.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man. Good for you, eh?
Yeah. It got very lucky. Lots of support.
But you earned it at the same time, bro. It's not... I have the same thing, right? So if I meet someone that is classified as famous or like really cool to people, right? But I meet them on my own merit. I go, oh, like, what did I do to like be in this room? Yeah. But like this place is actually a really good example. Yeah. Like, what did I do to be here? You know? But it's like very intentional and purpose-driven moves the whole time. Yeah. To get to where I am that people never see as well. Like when people are watching, and you'll relate to this, when people are watching Netflix at night or they're waking up at fucking 8 a.m. I'm up earlier or I'm up late trying to like talk to people, make shit happen, do my own thing, have proof in the pudding. And you do the exact same thing.
100%. The best like I guess way of explaining that is every rep you do in the gym, someone else is doing too. And you're that guy that does too. And you know, every extra hour you spend up, someone's going to bed an hour earlier. Every hour you wake up early and do a bit of extra work, that guy's going to bed earlier or waking up later.
I wish I started doing it earlier, eh?
Yeah, I do as well. I wish I had gotten into it earlier, but in saying that, it's one of those things where I couldn't have because if I did, like had I torn my ACL earlier, I might have recovered faster. I probably wouldn't have gone down this track. Yeah. Had I got into the supplement industry earlier, for whatever reason, the time wouldn't have been right and we wouldn't have been able to open the gym. We might have opened a sup shop instead. Yeah. And then I'm like a step behind again. Yeah. So this just worked out to perfect timing with the way the world worked for me, which is good. Same crazy, for you. Yeah. You've been hustling for years and years and years.
Not
then-
yeah, yes and no, bro. I did a uni degree because my mother wanted me to do one, right?
Yeah.
But that like when I was in uni, I used uni as an excuse to be like somewhat lazy. So I when I worked at Labella, I was just working at Labella, and then occasionally, maybe one day a week, I'd do labouring.
Yeah.
But like I look back on it, and I'm like, fuck, I sat my ass. I played Xbox most nights, all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look back on that. I kind of wish, because you'd say there's like a self improvement era happening
Absolutely,
right now, I
yeah.
suppose, or just like guys like Goggins and shit and Rogan just be like, get off your fucking fat ass.
Yeah, motivation's at an all-time high because motivation's making money now. So it never used to be. It used to be the guys trying to be motivation and stuff.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
get absolutely nothing from it. They were just nice guys.
Yeah.
Now they are selling audio books and they're doing podcasts and they're doing that sort of stuff and they're getting money for it.
And proof's in the pudding with them,
100%.
not some random guy.
Yeah. And in the same time, they're making lives better as well. So it's a profitable business and it's beneficial for them too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I just wish I learned about all that shit earlier, but you can't because that's
Nah.
just part of life, man. You got to go through that shit. But yeah. So now we're 23. We're opening a gym.
Yep.
Let's like obviously people knowing Helos and Co. Shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's North Face Helos and Co.
Same thing. They're about the same representation.
Yeah. I want to make puffer jackets this year. Actually.
Yeah. Unreal.
It's just a bit of capital needed, but whatever. I own a business, so I understand basic business principles like finances, overheads, shit like that. I don't pay anyone. I still work for my uncle as well of the day. But like I have learnt enough about business in the process of one day hiring people and whatnot to somewhat understand like what you're about to embark on.
Yep.
Opening this gym, when did you sign the papers? Actually, no, first, the idea. Was it before the previous tenant made it known that they're leaving?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
We wanted a gym about when I competed, which was the start of last year.
Yeah.
My final comp ended up being about end of May. And we were driving back from Melbourne and me and Stan were just talking. We needed to open a shop. We wanted to do some sort of venture together.
Yeah.
Because we just work really well together. And it was one of those things where I want to stick around in the business for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do it whilst paying a house loan, supporting family, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the idea was I was going to put my balls on the line and upfront a lot of money. And then Stan has all the connections, all that sort of stuff. So he's just the best mentor and business partner you could ever have because he's one of those guys, he likes seeing his friends succeed.
Yeah.
So he was going to throw me the leash and allow me to jump into a business with him. And then the sup shop was the first idea. And then we got a little bit further down the line. We were looking for leases. We wanted one in Mount Druitt because that's where the whole Body Beyond originated. We wanted to go back to the roots or St. Clair. And then as we're looking like, oh, that lease is good. This one's a bit bigger. This one's a bit bigger. And like, oh, fuck, we could almost even open a gym in this one.
Yeah.
And then we found a little place out at Richmond, which is the Price Line in Richmond because we have a shop out at Richmond.
Yeah. I know what you...
And it's got a very underappreciated demographic of bodybuilders because they're all tradies out there. They're all farmers. They all love training.
All the boys up the hill.
Yeah, exactly
It's not
right.
the ones on the
Like, that's where
flatlanders.
like Reese comes from, where a lot of our clients like Rico, Yanni, they all come from out there.
Yeah.
And even the smallest, like the little Plus Fitness out there has like 1,600 members, which is a fair whack for a gym. Like the Club Lime across from us has 1,200.
Yeah.
And that's one of 4 gyms in just Richmond. So we're all like, we'll go in there, we'll monopolize, we'll steal everything. Not in that sort of sense, but we'll have the
we'll
members,
take
the
over
clientele are all there.
Yeah.
But then we're very close friends with the Plus Fitness out there as well. So that held us back a bit. We didn't want to do that to them.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, this was a pharmacy. So DA approval alone to turn into a gym was $80,000. Looking about that.
Yeah.
Redoing the flooring, redoing the walls, putting a mezzanine in, putting the equipment in, mirrors,
Redoing the whole
bathrooms,
fucking thing.
sub shop. Everything was looking like about well over $500,000 just to convert it.
Yeah.
Not even to get it up and running, staffing, all that sort of thing. And the demographic out there is not as hardcore bodybuilding as we would prefer for our clientele.
Yeah.
So it was looking like it was going to go ahead. We were borderline about to sign the lease agreement on it and get it all done. I was halfway through the DA approval process. About to pay someone like $3,000-$4,000. We'd paid like a fair bit of money. And then we started thinking like, we'll just sit on it because it looked like the UFC Penrith was slowing down a touch.
Yeah.
And it wasn't made known to us that he was going to sell. Like we've wanted that place for years and years and years. And it's just the Troy, the guy that owned it, he was just, he's persistent. He's a great businessman. He just didn't give up and he just pushed and pushed.
Yeah.
And testament to him, like it's an awesome gym in there. And we thought we'll just wait. And then we sort of let the landlords know, like if he ever wants to sell, like hit us up because we'll figure something out. About a month into being about to sign that lease out at Richmond, he hit us up with the first initial offer.
Yeah.
The first initial offer isn't quite what we wanted, so we sort of sat back and we said, "Come back to us in a couple of weeks. We'll keep renegotiating."
Yeah.
The second offer was much closer, so we negotiated down slightly, and then this got us to about probably 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Where we said, "Look, we'll do this. We're happy to do this sort of swap over. We'll just continue the lease to save you from having to break your lease. We'll take over whatever you've got in there. We'll take the building, all that sort of stuff." And then we found a good agreement together. Got us to about a month ago, and then we signed all the papers. And then in that last month, I've looked into like getting equipment. So I found a contact for equipment. Luckily enough, I got like Simon from Global Gym, Paulie from Revos. All those guys are really close friends, so they helped us out heaps. They gave us lots of contacts, lots of help. I set up all the back end, set up all the software, and that gets us to about 3 weeks ago when we're about to open. But as we're about to open, the removalists that were removing the UFC stuff went to town on the walls. So that set us back about 3 weeks. I had to get plasterers in. I had to repaint everything. Had to re-gyprock it all. Get renderers in for the concrete.
Yeah.
And then doing all that puts a world of mess in the gym, just dust and render and gyprock everywhere. So the cleanup process for that was like another week and a half. And it prolonged it to the point where we're at now. We're supposed to open at the end of February.
Yeah.
And it was going to be perfect because Stan had a big Japanese trip planned. So we're going to open before that, get the gym running. He goes to Japan, all sweet. But it looks like he went to Japan about a week ago. And it looks like we're going to open in about a week.
Yeah.
So it's perfect timing. So in that last week, I've been running the sup shop, keeping that stable for him, and then also managing all the gym processes.
Yeah.
And there's a big order of operations where for this to get done, this has to get done. For the security, the Wi-Fi needed to be installed. For the door access, the software had to be installed. To get the sup shop running, I had to get the walls built, the check-ins put in, check-in rooms. For the lights to be done, I had to get wires run, all that sort of stuff. So it's like bit by bit, it's been getting done. And luckily enough, the way I've organised it is there's never been a day in there, even Sunday, where some work's not getting done. Even if it's just me and you in there cleaning.
Yeah.
Something's always getting done.
Shout out Locke, shout out Rico, shout out Yarn.
Yeah, they've done so much work.
Who else is there to shout out?
Jack Banton, Jesse's missus, they've been unreal. They're just turning up. To tender's been really good. Number one boxer in Australia, I reckon. Knockout power.
I know that fella. Yeah. He's on the phone.
I've never seen. He's never come into the shop ever with a scratch on him, and he's had like 15 plus fights or something.
Someone put raps on him that I know. That's a boxer. Someone that was training at Zoo.
But he fights in like Jordans. Doesn't have boxing shoes. He's just got so much swagger.
Yeah.
And like when I train legs, my heart rate gets up to like 150, 160. I went and watched him fight. My heart rate was like 189.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because I was watching him. I was like, oh my God, he's going to kill someone.
Yeah.
And then like seeing your friend in like a battle to the
it's
death.
a war.
Yeah, it scares the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But his fight was that like he was just throwing heavy punches.
Yeah.
It just got me so hyped up.
So he's a like a boxer.
Yeah, bro, he looks like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, right.
He could jump on stage if he wanted to, 100%.
Yeah.
And do very, very well. But he's boxer by trade. He's just got awesome genetics.
What national is he?
He's Ugandan.
African genetics, bro. Different.
Uganda? Zimbabwe?
Different gravy, those genetics, bro.
Yeah.
Different gravy.
So much swagger.
When you verse them in football, they are fast. They're fucking hell. When you verse them in football, bro, they're fast. They're fucking powerful.
Deceptively strong.
Bro, they can jump like, meter plus off the ground. Nuts. Like when they're running full pace. And even if they're not like as built, they still just give you a stiff arm and you're on your fucking
ball skills. But bit how you going? We had a guy come trial for brothers once.
Yeah,
and we get into our second game, and he's running. He throws me a pass, and he just goes. I was probably 4.5 meters in front of him. I just come out of marker. He got the ball and threw it straight back to me. And then they called forward pass. He's like, "What is forward pass?" I was like, "Don't worry, bro. All good. Just make sure you throw it backwards next time."
Bro, we had a bunch of Sudanese boys. I think it was like 5 or 6 4 join AFL. They were all brothers. They all joined. They had no idea what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And you gave them I remember after Dad took 3 weeks, just teach them handballing, kicking, marking, and just the idea of the game.
Yep.
Bro, they're just unstoppable after that.
Yeah.
Their height, their power, all that shit.
It's like when you see a semi-right drive come over from Fiji or something. Tiny bit of
Justin Olam.
Yeah, you give them the tiniest little bit of structure and they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because they've just got everything behind them. It's just the direction.
Yeah.
It's like a loaded gun. You just got to point it and shoot it.
That is perfect.
Yeah, but the guys like that, they're like a 50 cal.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what they do. As long as they do it semi-right, they do really, really
Yeah.
good.
Fuck, that's a good fucking analogy, Jake. I never thought of that. But yeah, so there's a whole crew there
Yeah.
and you're opening it up and there's been some setbacks, obviously. A big problem with the tenants that were in before it. They're a business. And yeah, just that general, I'm not going to say their name because fuck them. But like that, just the way that business globally operates is like a lot of people disagree with.
Unrewarding for the franchisee.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Just how they left you, bro. That's shit etiquette.
The guys that facilitated the move were actually really good, but then they're the middleman between us and this company.
Yeah.
And they were very understanding, but they still had a lot of these rules and stuff that they didn't want to follow. But they didn't have a choice. It was things like they were going to break things that we could have used. All we had to do was just take it apart, but they're like, no, we got to break it. Like there was a $80,000 piece of equipment in there, big octagon, only life-size one in Australia that ended up in the bin.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't resell because it's covered in logos and emblems and stuff. Instead of just getting it reupholstered or something, they chopped it up with grinders and threw it out.
That's so sad.
It was terrible.
That's so sad.
And
what do you do? That would have been sick in the gym.
Yeah, yes and no. But the reason it didn't work in the previous gym is because you're not allowed to fight in those gyms.
How come?
You can't spar, you can't fight because it's a family style gym and they're not insured for fighting. Like if you go in there and knock some guy's head off, they're liable. You're pretty much doing Fight Club. Like they didn't have trained professional boxing coaches or anything in there. And then because it's UFC, like you have to have a registered event to have a UFC fight. Yeah. Which costs you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So they never use that. And for us, like in the middle of Penrith with our clients, I'd walk in there and Liam would be knocking some guy's head off and they'd be fighting bare knuckle and
someone would be, Chief, the ringer.
Yeah, I'd be having guys come up to me all the time, broken arms and legs from arm bars and stuff. And I'm like, just had to get rid of it. Yeah. It's too much temptation for the Penrith crowd.
So yeah, for people listening, you'd know the gym if it's at 112 Henry Street, isn't it?
Yeah, shop 2092/112 Henry Street.
Yeah, that's it.
So right in the middle of Henry Street, that massive red building. Across from Club Lime, just down the road from where Body Beyond was, like 45 feet. Yeah. You can see it from the Henry Street, from the car park behind. You can't miss it.
You can see it from the corner shop that's on the opposite side of the block from the Red Cow.
Yeah, and all our signage got done today, so it's got a massive logo on top of the roof now. Body Beyond Health Club.
Bro, massive.
Yeah.
And it's a massive lease. Like, that's a big place.
Yeah, massive. It's 1,500 square.
Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Shitting myself.
Like how? Like walk us through it. Like what are you shitting yourself about? Is it the risk of opening a business or?
My nervousness has been outweighed by stress of just trying to get it all done, making sure something's always happening, making sure I can open on time. Because I get 35, 40 messages a day from different people each day asking when it's going to open. Yeah. I really don't have a date based on, I need my tradesman that gives me dates and they don't have a date. So they're reliant on their materials coming in, on getting people to work for them. So at the moment, the last thing I'm waiting for is mirrors. Because we have a special section going in where it's like we've got two lines. So we've got parallel walls, and on one side it's got a 15-degree angled mirror on the top. The other side it's just got straight mirrors.
Which shows your back.
Yeah, as you're on a back machine, you'll be able to actually see your back in that mirror, which gives you a much better connection, that sort of thing. So that's pretty much the last thing I'm waiting on. But the date those mirrors get installed is next Thursday. I don't have a guarantee it's going to be Thursday, but if they're in, I can open on Friday. Yeah. But then I don't know if it's going to be Thursday. It might be Friday, then I can open Saturday. So
yeah, you're chilling, man.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm stressing over that. I want to give everyone a good gym because there's a lot of eyes on us as well.
Heaps of eyes.
I won't say the name, but I got blocked by a gym. They fucking blocked me last night because I was with my equipment guy and I was like, I wanted a specific leg extension machine. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I can get it for you. I was like, just as long as it's not that same fucking one that they've got it. Yeah. And he's like, which one? I was like, I'll have a look at the Instagram. And I went and had a look and it was like completely no user found anything. I was like, oh, maybe my phone's just dead. He looks it up on his, it's there. And I went onto my other business account, blocked completely.
Interesting.
Very interesting because I've never had any problem with them. I got 30, 40 clients that train there. Yeah. And I've always sort of sung their praises for the most part. Yeah. But there's two ways you can go. So Paulie from Revo's calls me up. And he's like, I've got to give you huge congratulations, bro. Good on you. He's like, if you need a hand, if you need anything, you just let me know. Or you block me on Instagram, don't say a thing. Yeah.
It's funny, bro, because you think like independent gyms would support independent gyms.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is like, sorry if you work for them, but like franchise gyms just aren't it.
Yeah.
It's not where gym culture's from. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
your Tom Platts, your Arnie's, and all that old school era.
Yeah, they were
there.
training in backyards and barns.
Yeah, that one in Melbourne's like a hole in the wall, isn't it?
Doherty's.
Yeah.
It's in an old train station. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's in like the way the gym's set up, it's like 3 or 4 big columns and they're train tunnels.
Yeah.
You walk into the tunnels, it's just full of machinery. There's signed walls everywhere, but the real one's in Brunswick.
Yeah.
That's like the old school one. Everywhere, signatures on the wall, photos of bodybuilders.
It's Italian.
Yeah, it's
that
unreal.
area.
It's unreal. But
And yeah, it's funny, bro, because you think like franchisees you don't give a fuck about, but you think independent gyms would support you because I think there's room for everyone to eat.
absolutely, there's 39 gyms in Penrith, 40 now that we're open.
Yeah,
and
but like the franchises compete against each other because that's a different market. Because
Yeah.
that's for people, and I was one of them, and you were one of them at
Yeah.
one point as well. I'm still kind of one of them. I have no idea what's going on in a gym, right?
Yep,
So my idea would not be to walk into Revos.
yep,
My idea would be walk into Anytime Fitness, hopefully bring a mate or two with me that
Yep.
know what they're doing, get my confidence up there.
yeah,
And then after a while, you walk into Revos, just purely out of a thing of like, I want to know what I'm doing with these machines because there's
Yeah.
people here that fucking like are here to be bodybuilders. They're
Yeah.
here to live properly. They're athletes. Whereas like Anytime Fitness is just a bunch of people, just accessibility.
general wellness
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
You're right. There is an intimidation factor to like a bodybuilding based gym.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like more equipment is beneficial in a way because say anytime they're quite limited, they have one brand of equipment, that's all they can use.
Yeah.
You can get a semi good workout on that. So it's good for a beginner. But if you really want to begin well, you should begin in a gym that has heaps of equipment because
Yeah.
you're a tall guy, some equipment's not going to work for you. So certain leg extensions won't adjust properly for you. They'll overload your knees.
Yeah,
and you'll get a lot of
I
pain.
did it the other night.
Yeah.
Fucking hurt, bro.
Yeah, bro. There's certain pendulum squats, leg presses that I can't use because of my lever length and the way it loads my knee. If I go into,
I have no idea what you just said.
So your from hip to knee is
Yeah.
probably longer than my from hip to knee.
Oh, yeah.
So if we sat on the same machine, if it's something that's not as adjustable like a leg press, I'll get a different workout to you.
Yeah.
Those gyms have one. So a gym like Revos has like 2-3 leg presses. We have 2-3 leg presses. So you can, if you don't like this one, you've got 2 other options to use. And certain ones are adjustable in different ways that other ones aren't. So for beginners, it's actually beneficial. I know it's intimidating and there's a lot of big guys there, but they're generally the guys that give you the most information and help you.
Yeah.
Those are the gyms where you should start because you have access to much more versatile equipment, which
Yeah.
means that your beginning place will be a much more comfortable and easier beginning place as well. And
Yeah.
generally they have more information about the machines too.
Yeah. I would say your gym isn't really, your gym's definitely not intimidating.
I
as
hope
well.
not.
No, it
I
won't
hope
be.
not. We're trying to dispel that myth because you walk in the door and it's Stan, it's Reese, it's Kai, it's Scotty, it's me. We're all sitting there and we've got
Yeah.
our comp photos on the wall. Every now and then you walk into some massive tattooed motherfucker sitting there eating his food and it's a bit of a scary look. But then like you walk in and next thing you know, I'm doing a check-in and I've got a middle-aged mum there.
Yeah.
Or I've got someone that's 16, they're just fresh out of high school. So we have like from bottom to top, start to finish clients of everyone. And the way I've bought all the equipment is I've bought a bunch of stuff that is very user-friendly. So you can chuck a learner on there and they'll get the same workout as the IFBB Pro. And then I've also bought all the really crazy stuff that I guess it's a bit of a niche market. Only certain people will use it or know how to use it and appreciate it. But either way, you can get a good workout in there.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be like very open and accepting and like not intimidating if we can.
I think you'll open more workouts to people
Yeah.
because like a franchise gym, so to speak, they're quite small generally
Yep.
in relativity to gyms.
Yep.
They're quite small. So there's a certain amount of only machines that you can use because they don't want to get on top of each other in their layout. But when I walk through your gym, even now, I don't think all the equipment was in yet, Last time I was in.
I've got another
Too nice.
15, 20 pieces to come.
Yeah, it's nuts. But even when I was walking through, I'm like, I've never seen these machines before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they'll like open people up to be like, oh, fuck, like, what's this? Let's
Yeah.
give it a crack.
Or
Let's see where we're at.
I think that's the benefit as well because we have the sub shop right there full of coaches, full of PTs. We have the ability to say, you come in and I'll show you some stuff. I'll walk you straight into the gym. And if you come up to any of my staff, I've thrown them all on the equipment. That's the first thing I did with our staff meeting. I was like, let's go test it out. I threw them on it. Even if they were in jeans, I didn't care. I said, get on this piece of equipment. I'm going to teach you how to adjust it properly, how to utilize it properly, the best rep ranges and things like that. Because if you're in there, you got to be able to ask anyone. And anyone will be able to show you that piece. And so a lot of the stuff that's really rare, you've never seen before, some of the American stuff or the hoist, things like that, they are intimidating. And to get on it, it's really weird. But then once you learn how to use it properly, it's the best machine you'll ever use in your life. Same with like the multi-load stuff, where you can change the center of gravity. It sounds very scary, but once you can utilize it properly, you'll be getting much better workouts, less injuries, less pain in joints, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it takes a special kind of gym to be able to teach you to do that as well.
Yeah.
So it's like with nutrition, I can give you all the food, but I can't teach you how. If I'm remote,
I can't teach you the habit.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
if you
it
come
just comes
into
from
me,
yourself.
I can show you how to cook it properly. I can teach you how to prepare it so it's easy for you to eat, times to eat, that sort of thing. Same with the gym. Like I can tell you that's a great machine, and if I don't tell you how to use it properly, it's not going to do any benefit to you.
Yeah.
You can get on it and use it wrong. So we have that ability to actually teach them as
I
well.
was doing that for years at any time.
Nah, everyone's still. I still
Proof's in
use
the
stuff
pudding.
wrong. But there's been machines in the last few weeks I've gone to test out, and I jump on it, and the guy will be like, "He's sitting on it backwards." I'm like, I have to jump around because some of it's like really rare. You don't see it very often, and it doesn't matter how advanced you are, bro. There's certain things where I have to look at it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I get it now.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a step back.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people feel like they're not at that stage where they can use a good gym, but a good gym gets them to a stage much quicker where they can use any gym.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really matter where you train. Like I can go use a Plus Fitness, get a really good session, or I can go to Revo's, get a really, really good session. I can get a good session either way.
Yeah.
Because I know how to use all the machines.
Yeah. That's it, eh?
Yeah.
As long as people have been walked through it, I reckon, is like the ideal. Yeah, that's why opening days, I think, are like really important to your business. So if you have like a bunch of people in the gym, this is just me talking to you about business now. But like if you say you have a bunch of your staff in the gym, because you're going to have a few staff, if they just walk people through and you train them on how each machine works, exactly what's needed, ranges, all that shit, all the technical words I don't know. And
Sports.
Football. And then, like they walk through. So like say you do have like, I was like an 18-year-old chubby kid going with Dom.
Yeah.
I think Dom had a fucking clue what was going on, but at least he tried to help me, because no one else did at those times.
Yeah, yeah.
And neither did I want it because like ego. But like, say you have like a 18-year-old kid, bit insecure like I was. At least he can walk through and like someone like one of your staff that's around the same age, because there's a few of them,
100%.
Can go, hey bro, this is what this is used for. Do you have any questions? And like, let's just be honest with each other here. If you have any questions about a machine, best to ask me now. Instead of being in the gym and then like having a low-key panic attack while you're fucking on it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And everyone thinks everyone's watching you in the gym.
No one gives a fuck.
Yeah. I've been in there before. I'm like, oh my God, like, everyone's going to see me if I fail this. And I turn around and the guy next to me is probably thinking like, fuck, everyone's watching me.
Yeah.
And no one gives a shit about you in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're the biggest guy in there, which very rarely you are. And if you are, generally the biggest guy's just not there that day.
Yeah.
No one cares. Everyone, for the most part, if they look at you, they're thinking like, oh, that guy's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Something like that. No one judges you.
Even if you look at C-Bum, bro, he don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, he trains
so
in a
chill.
commercial gym with everyone else.
Yeah.
And like you see in his videos, just random people walking in the background. No one's coming up bugging him or anything like that. And no one's staring at him either. Because it's one of those things where we're all at the gym for the same purpose.
Yeah.
It's just some people think they're the main character and they're like, oh, everyone's fucking looking at me.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're the ones that are like staring at you to see how much you bench press and that sort of stuff. They're the type of people, they don't hang around the gyms for long either. They either get kicked out or they do it as a phase and they leave because they're only there for their own ego.
Yeah. Right, I'll tell you a funny story. So obviously with the bench press, right, you're not meant to lie, like flatten it. Am I right?
On the flat bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 5 points of contact, and half of it shouldn't be your lower back. So you should have.
Yeah.
stuff.
So you're like
A
it's
bit
an
of
arch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Obviously didn't know all this shit, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
So at the time, I think I was just going to the gym with Dom. So anyway, I hop on the one at any time where it's like electronic. So the bar like goes, not electronic, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Smith press.
Yeah,
It's
so you push it up
counterweighted, so
and then
there's
you
no
can
weight.
fucking
Yeah.
Perfect. So anyway, I'm doing that and I'll have to put the name. Bro, I'm doing it and I'm like, I think I was doing like 4-5 sets of 10 or what. Like we had no fucking clue what's going on. And bear in mind, it's like 1 a.m. That's what time. Like Dom, because I was working at Cole's night shift and Dom was just Dom.
He still does. Like every now and then, I'll be like, "What did you do last night?" He's like, "Went gym."
Yeah,
What
you don't
time?
sleep.
He's like, "Oh, 2."
Yeah, bro, done sleep. Shout out D. And bro, so I'm on the bench press, right? I'm going up. Yeah, all right. I'm on to my last set. I'm chilling. I'm doing all right. I think I got to like the 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
Bro, it comes down and like I just can't get it back up right. So I'm like praying for D to like lift it, you know? Like just get it above so I can fucking breathe, bring it back down. I'll go again for the last 2 or 3. Anyway, as I've got it like down on my chest, I'm like struggling to breathe. I'm completely doing it wrong. I'm flat back.
Yeah.
Dom's like, oi, fax, here. I'm going like, D. He's like, oh, fuck. He probably thought it was the funniest thing in the world, eh? He couldn't stop laughing.
I love that guy. I've trained with him a few times, and everything's still failure.
Yeah.
It's just the way he likes to train. And he'll be on there, and he'll be like on his 29th rep of chest flies or something. And he's like, yeah. I was like, you right, Tom? He's like, yep. And he's like sitting there. He's like, a minute and a half later, he's like, he's like, I will get it. And then he gets up and he's like, oh. And he's in so much pain. And then 30 seconds later, he jumps straight back on. He just loves punishing himself.
Bro. Oh, I reckon the biggest punishment to himself he ever did. Sorry, D, to air this out. I'll send this to D before it goes out so I get approval. So he's talking to a girl, right? You know the girl. You'll remember this incident.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I've never laughed so hard. So we're at the gym and like D's talking to a girl and like big ups to D at the time. And he's like showing me, and we're both on the dumbbells. We're the whole gym to us. We're just on the dumbbells doing our thing. He shows me like, fucking oath, D, like message her and like go on, like tee up this first date or whatever. So anyway, I'm minding my own business, got my headphones on. He's like, oh fuck, she replied. So he screenshots it, and like in his head, he's going to send it to the boys. So he's put his phone down, changed the song, and he picks his phone back up, and he sent it to the screenshot to the girl. Oh, bro.
That's the most
I thought I was going to piss myself.
Poor cunt.
Oh, fuck. I thought I was going to piss myself at the fucking gym. Bro, he just looked at he's like, I just sent the screenshot like to her. And I was like, holy fuck. And back in those days, you couldn't unsend a message on Facebook.
Yeah,
so it was just there.
Oh, fuck, poor little dog. I bet he was like, this is what it is.
Oh, fuck. Little baby D.
You remember your embarrassing story? I had one very recently. So it's not just beginners. I had done a massive workout. I just finished, and I thought I'll do some bench press to finish, like incline bench.
Yeah. So
I jumped on and I loaded up because I'd done like a fair bit of workouts. So I had a couple of plates on, and then I did, I think, 20 reps, racked it. I was like, give myself 10 seconds, go again. 10 seconds, I did 14, racked it, 10 seconds, went again. I did 8, racked it, 10 seconds, went again. I did 6, and I racked it, and then like 3 or 4 boys walked in, and I was like, yeah, sweet, I'll go for 3 or 4. I got to the second one and just stopped. I couldn't fucking do it. And it was like 1 rep and then 2 reps, it stopped. And it was a fair bit of weight, but not enough that I should be struggling for 2 reps.
Yeah.
I dropped it and I had to like roll it all the way down. All the boys came over and helped me and racked it up. One of the boys was like, oh, don't worry, bro. Like 100 kilos was a mental barrier for me as well. You get that 3 reps soon. I was like, oh my God, bro. It broke my heart because I was up to like my 36th rep and I just racked it. And I was like, yeah, thanks, bro. And just fucking went and cried in my car for 6 hours. But no, it was just perfect timing.
Wait, that's something Peter would say when he's never even come close to 100 kilos.
Bro, you know what's hilarious is he's 80% good at everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you put in front of him. It's a golf club or a barbell. He used to come into the gym after not training for 6-7 months, and I'd jump on the bench press and we'd work up to like 80 kilos. This is when we were like 16.
Yeah.
And he'd jump on there and he'd do 3 reps of 80 kilos, which I was doing 5 reps of, and I trained every single day for 2 years at that time.
Yeah.
He'd just do it, and then he'd go home, and then he'd come back 6 months later, and he'd do 90 kilos. Hasn't trained, he's gotten stronger, he's gotten bigger, looks better, and then he'd come back later, 2 years later, he'd do 100 kilos.
Yeah.
And then you got Tommy, who trains, like he can do whatever he wants all the time. He's just that genetic, well, not genetically, but he just works that hard. Like he's a freak athlete. Yeah. Same thing, him and Peter. Peter's just less applied when it comes to athletics. Yeah. He's pretty smart, but he like doesn't do a lot.
Shit, yeah.
But I take him out golfing every now and then, and 80% of the balls he hits are just dead straight.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And then the other half, it takes him 9 shots to hit the ball, and he's hacking the ground up.
Oh, Pete. Have you seen Have you seen my Sporting Club Helos videos? So for people that are wondering,
I love 'em.
I have like Sporting
Sunday
Club Helos, which is like, it's like a media spin-off of like a sport version of Helos to kind of break up my ideas for Helos and content. So I was posting just stuff about like footy, AFL, UFC, boxing, soccer, and those get a lot of likes on TikTok. One day I was like, fuck it. Like when I was growing up, there was Sunday League videos in England, and they were massive. Like they still get millions and millions of fucking views.
It's like some 200 kilo bloke.
Oh yeah, just
hitting
fucking
a bicycle kick.
Just
shit
like
hacking
that.
ankles to bits.
So I was like, I'll start filming it.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I think like we've done all right. I think like top is 30K.
That's pretty good.
And they normally do like 5K, the game day ones, minimum 5 to 10K, and then 10 to 30 for the good ones. Bro, after like 5 or 6, there's like comments on them now that's like Pete's the GOAT and shit.
Yeah.
Like Pete's just in the background. He's the one that hands me the beer after the game.
Yeah.
And bro, everyone's like, "Oh, Pete's the GOAT."
That's mad.
He's got fans on
he
TikTok.
would have a following for sure.
Yeah.
It's a little cult following.
Need
But
to
they
get
just
him.
follow your videos just for Peter. But I love the ones where it's like, we'll update you at halftime. It's like halftime down 6-0, update you full time. It's full time. It's like, how'd you go today, boys? And like, shit. Like 10-0 won't tell you who won.
Yeah, that last week, so Warrington, Croatia, I get to
Yeah.
the fucking, I was like, oh, I'll update you at halftime. I was like, fuck, I forgot at halftime because I was spraying the boys. Well, 2-0 down at halftime. Anyway, get in at full time. And yeah, I get on TikTok and I'm like, fuck. Like, look, 6-0. I won't say who to, but shout out Warrington, Croatia. You got the one up, right? So I basically admit within 5 seconds of saying I won't say who to, Warrington, Croatia have just beaten us 6-0.
Yeah.
But on the comments, all these fucking Croatians are like, so you lost. Like, no shit. What the fuck is wrong with you pricks? They get a lot of views, bro. Last week was a spicy one because all the, even like, so Warrington, Croatia, I'm not sure if you know how football pyramid works, but you have like NPL and they're all like ethnic clubs for the most part.
Yeah.
So you have Sydney, Croatia, and then like in Melbourne, you have Melbourne United, Gold Coast Knights, all Croatian communities. Yeah. So Warrington, Croatia is in an European comp, but they're all offspring of the NPL team. So like Henry Davies would fit in at NPL. Yeah. There's kids that were playing with him that are playing in our comp against Peter.
Yeah, right.
Shout out Pete. And so, yeah, bro, they whacked us and they were just going at us. And then all these other Croats came in. I love my Croats, man. It's my favorite country.
They're one of my close. He's a competitive eater now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Jay Webby. He used to run UFC gym. He was their general manager a few years ago. We trained there from time to time, and he is just a non-stop workhorse. And he had a really bad injury. And he was one of those injuries where it's you're never going to walk again. Blah blah blah. Anyway, he came back from it. Not only did he come back, but he like trains hard. He's shredded to bits, and he has an incredible thyroid. Like his metabolism is second to none. I'd walk into the gym and he'd be eating pizza. And it's not a box of pizza. He would have like a fucking 42-liter tub with 5 or 6 pizzas in there. And I'd do my session, I'd walk out and it's done. Or I'd walk out, I'd be like, what are you eating today? He's like, I'm just trying to get 10 kilos of food down. It doesn't matter what it is, he's just smashing food. Now he's like I think he's ranked pretty high. He's like fourth to first ranked competitive eater in Australia. And he got 4th at the biggest comp in the world, the Nathan's hot dog competition. He got 4th place, which is like ridiculous. 42 hot dogs or something in 10 minutes. But he puts food away. Like
10 minutes.
He's got a huge following on TikTok and Instagram now. Yeah. But still replies to every message I send him. He's mad. He loves talking about the gym, bodybuilding, that sort of stuff. Yeah. And all these videos are him just dominating restaurant like meal challenges and stuff. Yeah. And like there'll be a record on like say some food challenge burger or whatever.
The Bavarian does with like your
kind of
the
so
veal
some
kilo.
Really famous competitive eater sets the record of 14 minutes. So he'll bite 2 and he'll do it in 12 minutes.
Is that guy from England the most famous? Yeah, Eddie. Isn't the one that went on to be a body?
Eddie.
Yeah, the one that fought Thor.
Eddie Hall.
Yeah, wasn't he an eater?
No, he's strongman. He does do those eating videos, but he's strongman.
I swear he was like he entered eating competitions back in the day.
Probably did. He's probably done a couple.
Yeah.
But just because he's got massive appetite, like those guys eat like 12,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
My average on a big day would be 4,500, 5,000. Yeah. And that's their normal. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
It's just food on food, and then they sleep throughout the day as well to keep their growth hormone high.
Yeah.
So it's like a crazy lifestyle. They're just putting away food, but they all weigh 160 kilos and they're muscly as.
I got a question for the strongman thing, right?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's
like they're obviously like bigger boys.
Yeah.
But they obviously train like a fucking dog.
Yeah.
But they can't lose the weight like to an extent, right?
It's an unconventional lifting sport. So the lifts aren't as straight as like deadlift, bench press, squat. It'll be things like the log lift where they have to clean and press a log, or they have to pick up a heavy weight and walk with it, stuff like that.
And they do the shit over the shoulders and shit.
All that sort of stuff. So the build for that, you have to be tall initially. You can't be much shorter than 6 foot.
But isn't Eddie tiny? I swear he's like
6'2".
Oh,
yeah, he's just massive. He's
it's because I remember him fighting Thor.
Yeah, and Thor's fucking 6'7" or 6'9" or something. But you have to be relatively tall because you can't fit much more mass on your frame under 6 foot to be able to carry those sorts of weights. So these guys, they're like 6 foot minimum, and the bigger ones are 6'7", 6'10", and they're
What are the weights generally? Do you know?
Like they lift.
Yeah.
The Atlas stones go up to like hundreds of kilos. Some of the deadlifts, they'll put them under a squat bar that weighs 380 kilos, and the competition will be whoever gets the most reps wins that one. Or it'll be like the deadlift just works up to the absolute highest deadlift, but it'll be things like they got the elephant bar deadlift, which bends much more and it's much wider and longer, so it's unstable as well.
Yeah.
Or they'll have things like they have to, instead of deadlifting a bar, they're deadlifting a car now, and they attach just
yeah, I've seen this
pole to a car.
like a Yaris skeleton type of thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But all their lifts it's a showman's like ship thing as well, because they get big stadiums, they do it in there. So it'll be things like instead of just lifting a weight, they make something of it. So they have to carry a car, or they pull a tank, or they'll pull a train or something like that.
Nice.
It's ridiculous, and it's hard to train for a sport like that because they don't got trains in their backyard.
Yeah.
One of the best ones ever is Zadrunas Zavickas, Big Z. He trains in like an abandoned stadium by himself with no music, no anything, just dim lights, has heaps of weights in there. It's just random stuff like deadlift bars, sandbags, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He won it like 8 years in a row.
Nice.
And now he's like a mayor in, I don't know where he's from, Algeria or something.
Yeah.
Albania, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was just the genetic king of the sport for ages. He was perfect height, perfect weight. And then you got guys like Thor. You could not be a better shape.
Yeah.
Him and Eddie Hall. They're both
see,
monsters.
Yeah. What about do you remember Mark Henry? Was he in?
Yeah.
He was one of them, eh?
Yeah.
And then WWE brought him over, I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of guys crossing in and out, UFC, WWE, strongman, powerlifting, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And even powerlifters going into bodybuilding and stuff like that now.
Yeah, right.
Because a lot of the lifestyles and drugs and things like that don't just do one thing, they do two things. So you can take something that doesn't just make you bigger, makes you stronger. So you can do both of them.
Yeah, right.
And because it's a whole influencer thing now, like you got money, you want to hit two markets. So why would you just do bodybuilding when you can also nab the powerlifting market? You can do the eating market, so you do competitive eating videos. You can do the strongman market, you go train with some strongman guys.
Yeah.
So it's just more revenue, more exposure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fuck. Well, you know, eh?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Not my cup of
Do you
tea.
train with any guys like that do strongman or different things to bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Or do you generally train with people doing bodybuilding?
For the
to
most
an
part,
extent?
bodybuilding, because strongman, that sort of lifting, I don't think I could do it feasibly with my knee. I'd get injured.
Yeah.
Powerlifting, I do a fair bit of, but just for endorphins and feeling good. Like every 3 or 4 weeks, I'll go and do flat bench, or I'll squat every leg session. I deadlift once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I've got certain mates that do powerlifting, but they don't really compete. They're just real strong, like ridiculously strong.
just
They just
enjoy
like
it.
doing it.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll compete. I'll lift with them and we'll do one of their sessions. But I train for like 25 to 40 minutes max. I get in, get out, very high intensity. They're in there for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'll get like an hour in, my blood sugar starts dropping. I start feeling like shit. I start losing my energy. I start yawning. I just want to get out of there.
Yeah.
So their sessions aren't built for me. Like I've gone so far in one direction that I can't really deviate now. So it's one of those things where I just prefer to stay in bodybuilding as much as I can.
Yeah.
I can still lift heavy weight and stuff, but just not as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
And I don't drop it down to like anything below 4 reps.
Yeah, right.
So
Because
I don't
they
do, like, 1 RMs.
they G themselves up for like one big rep after a while.
I haven't
like-
done a 1 RM in years.
Yeah.
Just because the risk versus reward's not very high for bodybuilding. So with powerlifting, it is, because on that comp day, you have to hit 1 RM.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to win a comp with 2 reps. You got to hit that one.
Yeah.
With bodybuilding, when you're on stage, no one gives a shit. No one knows
Yeah.
how much you lift or how much you weigh or how much you bench or anything like that. So the risk of doing a heavy lift and hurting myself versus the reward of being stronger doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Certain lifts do build good muscle. Like a deadlift is good for bit like thickness of the back. But for me, I can build a thick back without it. So I'm going to avoid it because I don't want to injure my back at the same time.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's a long-term sport.
Yeah.
Injuries don't pay in bodybuilding. If I get injured, I lose. Like when I get sick, I'll lose 5-6 kilos.
Yeah.
And it's all muscle because I don't get any leaner.
Yeah.
So then I
Right.
have to spend the next 4 or 5 months catching up again,
Yeah.
which is, it sucks.
Talk people through your diet quickly. Last time we did this, I posted
Yeah.
on TikTok. I think you got like 60K or 70K, maybe even more. To be
Yeah, it's a
honest.
bit different to that one because that was my prep diet. It was like kangaroo and green beans.
Yeah. Walk us
Now-
through this one.
It's a lot. It's a lot more relaxed. So if I want, I'll go out get cheat meals with Till, my missus, or I'll eat with the boys, things like that. But for the most part, it's breakfast is always 5 to 6 bits of bacon, just butcher cut organic bacon if I can get it, with 5 or 6 eggs. At the moment, I digest them pretty good. I don't always digest eggs good when I prep, so I avoid them.
Yeah.
But now I'm pretty good with it. I do that with maybe if I'm feeling like I've got a big day, I'm training early, I'll do rice bubbles.
Yeah.
And then my next 3 to 4 meals at the moment is just straight up beef or turkey mince with nothing else. Like I might buy some vegetables and chuck it in there, but for the most part, I'm
No
just on
rice?
the move. Nah,
How come?
no carbs. Insulin sensitivity. I don't want to spike my insulin too much because then I get a drop.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I installed I got a glucose monitor, which is like a diabetics use it to tell when the insulin dropped.
Yeah.
I'm not diabetic, but I got one installed just because my phone goes ballistic every time I don't eat. So
Yeah.
if you open this app, I can see when my blood sugar drops. So it shows me like on the sensor when it's going up, when it's going down.
Point out that camera.
I haven't got it set up at the moment because I installed a new one this morning, but it
Yeah.
basically shoots a little syringe into your stomach and then it puts a little patch over it with a sensor and then that reads when I'm going hypoglycemic. So if my blood sugar drops, it tells me to eat. So if
Yeah.
I don't eat carbs, I don't get that drop.
Yeah.
I also don't get the spike, which means I lose a bit of growth and I lose a bit of size. But in saying that, it's more beneficial to me because I'm working a lot at the moment, running around in the gym. If I'm constantly dropping my insulin, then I'm going to get spikes. I'm going to get hyperglycemic all the time and just passing out and feeling like shit all day.
Yeah.
So I just do straight protein at the moment. I'll add some fats to it, so like ghee. And then if I'm going to train more later in the day, my last meal I'll put rice, pumpkin, or sweet potato, a little bit of carbs.
Yeah.
And then after that, so bacon, eggs, 3 to 4 meals of straight protein.
Yeah.
And then dinner at the moment is just steak, whatever steak I want, biggest one I can find. IGA's doing like $20 tomahawks, so I've been smashing them. I'll cook that up with just as much vegetables as I want. And then after that, I'll do coconut yogurt with 2 scoops of protein, dark berries, and almond butter.
Yeah. Right.
So it's anywhere from like 6 to 9 meals a day because I'll have a few little snacks in like dark chocolate, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's if I have a really good day, that's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for the most part, I'll probably have 2-3 cheat meals a week where I'll go get like a steak from a restaurant or I'll get Greek food or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm pretty good with it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. You're very disciplined. A lot more disciplined than I am.
No, I think it's subjective. For
Yeah.
my sport, so some people in my sport are very disciplined. Some people aren't.
Yeah.
But to the outside world, even the guys that aren't disciplined are pretty disciplined. So like certain people, they don't know what they're going to eat every day. I know what I'm going to eat every single day when I wake up.
Yeah.
But then there's guys that, like,
Just
I know
go
what
off
I'm going
the
to eat,
fucking-
but I might know that I'm going to eat Greek food tonight.
Yeah,
There's guys
yeah.
that don't eat that Greek food and they have just their food. That's it.
Michael, who comes into the gym, does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, to the T.
If he goes on a night out, he brings his like
Yeah.
mints in the car.
Yep.
Like just if someone's driving, he'll go in the car, make sure he eats his meal. It's nuts.
Yeah. It's good. It's what you have to do to be competitive in this sport, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
like I've had heaps of times where I'd go out to dinner and I bring raw chicken and ask the chef to cook it for me. Like don't add nothing to it, just put it on the fryer, put it on the grill, cook it, bring it straight back to me on a plate. And it's shit because everyone's sitting there eating pizza and all this nice stuff. But for me, I know my end goal is more important than this current like food.
Yeah.
Like I don't care as much about this meal as I care about holding a gold medal on stage.
Yeah.
So I just keep that in mind the whole way through.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot
yeah.
easier.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that whole goes back to like every rep you do in the gym. I know someone else is doing 2. So
Yeah.
I'll do 3.
Yeah.
I just keep that in mind that I know the end goal. I got to work right now to get that end goal.
Yeah. I feel the same. I don't even know what my end goal is, but
You don't have to.
I just know I don't want to do what I'm currently doing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
I want to get paid for what I'm doing.
Yes.
But what I do currently of a day, I don't want to end up doing. So
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I
the
know
other
what I
thing
wanna
is
do.
like you don't have to know what your end goal is as long as you point yourself in the right direction and
Yeah.
laying the foundation. Like you can build a house without knowing what the end product's going to look like. You just start building it as you go.
Yeah.
And then by the time you complete it, it might be even better because you add more rooms, you put in cool stuff as you go along the way.
Yeah.
And then your final end goal will always be pretty good. As long
Just
as you work
fucking
hard
house.
enough. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, house
I don't
you
know. When I start a prep, I don't know what comps I'm going to do. I don't know what divisions I'm going to do. Usually I pick my divisions 2 weeks before I enter
Yeah.
the comp. So it might be classic physique, bodybuilding, this, that, whatever. I got to wait till I know what my body's looking like.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things. I have no idea what I'm doing, just making sure I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to. Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy when you.
It's a lot
explain it
of
like that,
blind faith.
different world. Different world to like someone like me.
Yeah,
He's
but
like sport, like the
sport's a
football
whole
and-
different ballgame.
Yeah, to the bodybuilding, and bodybuilding is very independent. So with like football, I'm captain coach.
Yeah.
So I like the boys know I'll be there,
Yeah.
right? And they can rely on a certain amount of boys being there every week. They know who's going to flake, blah blah blah. But with bodybuilding, there's no falling back on anyone else. Like
Yeah.
if you don't do it, then that's your fault. Like
Yeah.
you are fully accountable for every single thing that happens.
Accountability is big. A lot of people come to a coach so that they don't have to have as much accountability.
Yeah.
But there's only so much that your coach can do for you. You can only send you the proper plan.
He's not holding your hand.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're going to follow it. So the accountability is always like the onus is on the person to go good at bodybuilding. With sport, you got a team. Bodybuilding, you can have kind of a team, but they're not there with you 24/7, like you said.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they cheat on their diets and do all that sort of stuff. In sport, you can get away with it a bit. Can't really in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And you see it at the end, they win or they lose.
Yeah. That's why I want to do a marathon, eh?
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Every time
people wouldn't pick it, but I got an engine.
yeah,
Oh, shut up, Siri. I don't want the fucking noise for a marathon.
100% believe you, because there's like a few people I've met and they just smash me. Because I'm real short. I was always a sprinter. I could never do long distance. I reckon I run 500 meters, I'm done.
Yeah.
But there's people twice my size, half my training ability, and they run farther for way easier as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where your body doesn't like limit you in any way.
Yeah.
You see that massive hillbilly bloke that does backflips and shit?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like 135 kilos and he's backflipping and cartwheeling around.
Yeah.
I can't do none of that.
Yeah, bro. I want to do one of them, man. Just
Backflip?
like, nah, fuck. I tried, bro, once. I fucking landed on my back. Nah, I want to, that's why I want to run a marathon, just to like, just push it, you know?
Yeah, why not? Well, when you're on the soccer field, you're probably doing 9-10 Ks of running anyway, for the most part, in a big game, or you do average, I think, is 5 to 7.
Yeah.
So you already, like, without even thinking
Difference
about
is,
it.
but you're not thinking about running,
Yeah, that's it.
playing the game.
Yeah.
Whereas you're running, like I've ran on trails for 5Ks and I'm there by the second going,
Yeah.
fuck me, what am I doing?
You got to stay distracted.
Yeah. So, but that's why I want to do one by myself, because there's no, all the glory's mine, all the failure's mine, you know, either way, which way ever I go.
Yeah.
Whereas football, I can turn around and go like, fuck Pete, like what the fuck was that? And I can just walk off, act like nothing ever happened, you know, but it could have been my fault, but I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, 100%.
But
Marathon's one of those ones that's a big milestone as well.
Yeah.
So accomplishing a marathon, not only by yourself, but like when it was something that you weren't, say, built or prepped to do, is unreal.
yeah.
It's a big, big step.
Yeah.
I can go in, yeah.
It's like, it is like a society just recognizes a marathon as like a big achievement, eh?
100%. Certain things like marathon, benching 3 plates, winning grand finals, things like that.
Yeah.
They're the big ones.
It's where like, no matter who you are, what you do with your life, everything goes out the window. It's like, I ran a marathon and almost every person in society, like, good work, man.
You're
Like,
known as the marathon guy now.
yeah. That big fella did a marathon every time you walk into a pub.
Yeah, 100%. You got to get a shirt.
Yeah.
Completed marathon. Done.
Well, we'll wrap it up soon because we're heading on towards 8 p.m. 7:30. I think we've been going for an hour of good value. But so I asked it before, but we kept going on a tangent, such as the nature of a podcast. You're 24. Wait, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget I'm younger. So you're 24. You've got a missus.
Yep.
You know, and the prospect of family life, buying a house, all that shit is closer to you than it is to me, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes and no.
Considerably. Don't be so humble. Now, and so with all that in mind, right? And you've got your uni degree and you got all these other factors, and now you're opening a business.
Yep.
Does that like play like at the age of 24? Is that playing like a big part on your mind? Like because you're set, right?
Yeah.
Like take away if you didn't open the business, you're kicking, you're sweet, right? But now you're opening a business, you're taking that risk.
Yeah.
Does those other factors play on your mind when you're opening that business?
Yeah, especially because luckily I didn't have to get a loan for the gym, but if I had to get a loan for the gym, it would have impacted house loans.
Especially with interest rates.
Yeah, exactly right. So I wouldn't have been able to get a house loan for our investment property or future properties or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because the banks would see I've got debt here and they wouldn't give it to me there. So that played on a big time. It was a big stressor for a while. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it without a loan. Luckily enough, I got through.
Yeah.
A lot of help from Till as well. So we're in that together as well.
Yeah.
And then everything else of like, there's a big balancing act of trying to, luckily I got a lot of support. So like, I'm not doing all this on my own.
Yeah.
So I've got mates that are turning up like yourself, Clean, and help me run the gym. Till will support me through anything. She's been through all my preps with me, helps me cook my food, understands when I'm tired or cooked. Happy to miss like Like there's some weeks where I see her once through the whole week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
She's happy with that because she knows either one of the two of us is very busy. And then as far as like the future setup, I'm pretty content with where I am now. So everything beyond now is a big bonus. So kids in the future, houses in the future, that sort of thing. I'm pretty happy with whichever way it goes.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Chris Williamson, do you know who that is? He had David Goggins on his podcast, one of the only guys.
Yeah.
He's like, he's just one of the best podcasters, Chris Williamson.
Yeah.
You'd know his face if you saw him for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
He said the other day, and he's big on like, he can pull up stats like in his fucking head. Like he's a massive learner. He ran nightclubs in England for like 15 years.
Yeah.
From the age of 19 to like early 30s or something. And then he's dipped out of that, done this podcast, all that shit.
Did I go with the face tats?
Nah.
Oh.
Nah. So he's not like a gangster. He ran the events. He's like a white guy, nice hair, like
okay, yeah.
just skinny, whatever. But Chris Williamson was like, there was a study and it's the biggest effect on your health ever. On quitting smoking, quitting alcohol, fucking whatever you can think of that's detrimental to your health. The biggest factor in good health is a supportive partner and a good 100%, partner.
Yeah.
And you got that, eh?
I could not agree more.
Shout out Till.
Yeah, Till, she's great. We've been together we've been 7 years now to almost 8.
Yeah.
And like I don't think we've had a fight at all.
Yeah.
We've never even had like a disagreement. Yeah. I've never raised our voices at each other. Never had something we couldn't work through. And having that means that it doesn't matter how bad I fail, I've always got someone to pick me up. Or it doesn't matter how good I succeed, I've always got someone to share it with.
Yeah.
So I'm always sweet. Like I've got that it's like a safety blanket with me. If I have a real bad day, she's there at the end of the day. If I have a real hard day, she's there to help me through it, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of confidence moving forward knowing that I've got that as well. And because I've got it secured, like I can guarantee it and put my life on it, I'm going to marry her and all that sort of stuff. I can move forward confidently knowing that she's not going anywhere and that we're set.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Must be nice, man. Good for you.
You'll find her. There's someone for everyone out there, Harrison.
Yeah, there is. Now, a few questions that I thought of the highest value for people listening and myself, actually, more importantly, myself. Any person looking to get into the gym, right? What's your best advice? So say someone walks in a Body Beyond. They don't want to just go, they're not one of those people that are just motivation for 3 days and then just drop off a cliff. There's someone that's like, I want to be in this gym or I want to be in the gym for the next decade minimum.
Yep.
What's your best advice for continual progression from everything from diet to training?
With diet, you just got to start simple. There's always like fad diets, there's everything out there. You just pick clean foods and stick to it as much as you can.
Yeah.
80-20 is not actually as bad as everyone says it is. So if you eat 80% good and then 20% of the time you're not that great, you'll be doing pretty good.
Yeah.
High protein, high fat. Carbs are like a big thing in the industry. If you smash carbs, you'll just get fat.
Yeah.
For the most part. Some people can get away with it. For the
Italians.
General population, general population, they play.
I didn't, but Callum did.
Much. Yeah. But it's one of those things where most people, they just benefit from a really simple diet that's easy for them to manage. You find that middle ground where they can eat it comfortably and lose weight. It's not too strict because they'll give up straight away. It's not too unstrict because they'll gain weight.
Yeah.
With the training, you've got to ask as many questions as you can. Find a good supportive person like you found with Dom, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you can, find a gym that has that support system, good PTs, things like that. And try not to be afraid of it and go ask people, how do you do this? How do I do that? What's your advice on this? I've always taken the rule of thumb of it doesn't matter who you're asking, you've got to ask them. So whether it's Stan or some kid in the gym that weighs 60 kilos, if that kid's got mad triceps, I'm going to ask him what he's doing for triceps.
Yeah.
I'll go say like, what are you doing? I want to know what you're doing. His advice might be just as valuable as someone else's.
Yeah.
So you got to ask questions to everyone. And then it's one of those things where it's such a multifaceted thing, the gym, where the human body is the most technologically advanced piece of technology in the universe.
Yeah.
So you can't quite nail it ever. So you might get advice from 10 people and one of it's good. None of it's terrible. You have to try every single one of those pieces of advice to know which one works for you. So it's one of those things where you take as much on board as you can, you make it your own, and then you move forward with that. And it'll take you 3-4 years. You've got to be in it for the long run. Because I've been training like a decade now. I'm still working stuff out as I go. Like I'm still changing stuff every year. And then just try and keep it as simple as you can. You try and enjoy it. The second it becomes a chore, you quit straight away. Yeah. A lot of people find when they do bodybuilding comps, the gym becomes a chore, eating becomes a chore. After their comp, they rebound really bad. They stop training for 6 months. They hate it. After my last comp, because I enjoyed it so much, I competed that day And we ended up in the gym that night at 9 o'clock and I was smashing a session. I was getting tan all over the machines. I was fucking dripping sweat. I was cooked, but I was just so happy.
Yeah.
And there's photos everywhere of me like black as walking around, looking like an alien and still smashing a session just because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So you got to do it out of passion, not out of like, you can't see other people and be like, I want to look like that, so I'm going to go do this. You have to want to look like it and do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you got to leave your ego at the door. Because the second you start ego lifting, you start losing muscle, you start hurting yourself, you start doing all that bullshit. You're never really going to progress without proper load of the muscle.
Yeah.
So like the second I stopped doing 1RMs and big lifts, I started really growing quickly.
Yeah.
And then, my training style is not the same as anyone else's. My diet's not the same as anyone else's. So you got to find your own stuff.
Yeah, so you'd say to a lot of people like just trial and error.
Yeah, pretty much. It sucks. But
Don't be so fucking caught up in like Don't be so caught up in what other people are doing.
Yeah.
You know, don't be so like, oh, this person looks that way, I'm going to copy it word for word.
Yeah.
It's just not how the bodies are never the same.
Well, impatience is a really harsh word for it because it's not quite impatience, but a lot of people think the quickest route is copying this guy because he looks great. But the quickest route is trial and error and trying 6 things and then you look like this guy.
Yeah.
It's like steroids is a really good example. A lot of people that come to me that have started their cycle, their test is shut down. They feel terrible. They've got headaches all day. They're gaining a kilo of fat each week. They're getting gynecomastia. They're getting all these problems. All you do is you tell them to calm down, jump off it or reduce everything. And we go a simpler, smoother route and we trial and error different things to get them to a better place. And all of a sudden they end up at a really good result 12 weeks down the track. But if they keep trying to progress it too fast, 36 weeks down the track, they look like shit.
Yeah.
So it's like same with dieting. You got to set yourself up for a long-term goal. If you try and smash it out in 6 weeks and do some fad diet, in 12 weeks time, you're going to look like shit. Or if you do a really clean, simple diet for 12 weeks, in 24 weeks, you're going to look great.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter about looking great tomorrow. It matters about looking great in a year's time and then a year after that. It's much more sustainable.
Yeah.
So the quickest route's not always a straight line.
Yeah.
Especially with bodybuilding.
Another thing, Tom Platz. It's like
Yeah.
my favorite guy. He's a character.
Yeah, I love him, and I can't. He's got. It's one of those things where it's great and it's not great at the same time because he's a huge advocate for squatting.
Yeah.
But he's also got incredible genetical insertions in his quad muscles. So if I went in and did a session with him, I'd probably dislocate my knee and I'd be in a world of pain. I probably wouldn't grow much muscle.
Yeah.
But if someone with his same genetic insertions and ability to train did it, they'll have the best quads ever.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where he's fantastic, but he also says you have to squat to get big legs.
Yeah.
Some of the guys I know that have the biggest legs on earth, like Big Ramy, he has the biggest quads that have ever been on the planet Earth. Doesn't squat ever. Some of the really big guys like Nick Walker, you never see him on a squat bar. Phil Heath, never on a squat bar.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman was, and he's not generally for that, but he's pretty injured now.
Yeah.
Stan, massive legs, never squats.
Yeah.
You don't need it to build big legs. You don't need to do anything. You don't have to do anything. There's certain things that work for some people and don't work for others. And I love him. I love his work ethic. I love how he pushes past that 40%. Because when you reckon you're done, you're only 40% done.
Yeah.
That's like a Goggins mentality, but it's proper special forces. They push you to the limit. And then when you give up, they say you're about 40% and they'll throw you back in for the other 50 because that next 10% you die.
Yeah.
So they get you to about 90%.
Nuts.
And that mentality, he can push past that.
Yeah.
He gets unreal sessions. Most people can't.
Yeah.
So they end up weaning their form and getting injured and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's no absolutes in bodybuilding, but he talks always in absolutes.
I reckon Tom Platz is like the GOAT for like how he talks.
Yeah, he's very, very literate and very comprehensive with the way he speaks.
And like his accent as well. I don't know what the fuck it is. I think it's like German mixed with American or something like that.
It's old school.
Yeah, but the way he talks. But anyway, we lost 6-0, right, to Wellington, Croatia. I rock up to the track. So we had a bye last week. So the week before that, we lose fucking 6-0 to Wellington, Croatia. I'm like on the way in. I'm in the van. I'm on my way to training. I'm going like, fuck. What do I say to these? Because I've got systems, bro. We're playing like passing football. We got a bunch of new players.
Yeah.
Some of these blokes have never played football, such as Peter.
Yep.
I'm telling them to play 3 at the back, which is just like a suicide attempt in Sunday league. Like you just don't do it. You play 4 or 5 at the back. You don't play 3, right?
Yeah.
It's just like a suicide attempt. But I'm so convinced in my own ego that like I can get these bunch of boys to play the most stylish and beautiful form of football there is in the current day. Yeah. So anyway, I rock up to training. I'm like sitting there in the van. I'm on TikTok and like Tom Platts pops up. And he's like, "Congratulations, failure has been achieved. Thank God."
Yeah.
So I went into train and said that.
Yeah.
G'd no one up. But Lee, I felt good saying it. And
Yeah.
he just fucking, after that, bro, I fully got into him.
100%.
He's a gun.
I'm a
but
big Joey Diaz guy.
Get the fuck up, cocksuckers.
I said, there's one.
I love how he's heaps of motivation, but he's like a fat fucker, smoking all the time. In his
But
videos
he doesn't miss a jiu-jitsu class, but
yeah, black belt or something.
yeah,
eh?
100%. But
Yeah.
Stan sent it to me before the New South Wales state title.
Yeah.
It's like it's like I'm sending you out today like a father sends his son to war. And it's going on for ages, and he just gets harder and harder and harder. And then he's like, "No one's giving you shit." And he fucking starts getting real ramped up, and I was like, "Yeah, fucking oath." I was listening. I was like 4:30 in the morning, and I was like in the car on the way to the IFBB show, and everyone's asleep, and I was like, "Yeah, fucking oath." It's getting really
Joey
hyped up.
Diaz is Gene up a
Yeah,
bodybuilder.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's the thing is like I pulled so much motivation. Now he's got ones for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday.
Monday morning's his most popular one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fuck, his videos are hilarious.
Yeah, Monday morning cocksuckers. But Tom Platts, bro, his big thing was fuck the weight. It's about your form. Would you completely agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes and no. You need a certain amount of stimulus to break the muscle down completely, but
But should your first focus be on your form?
always, always. Your form should be immaculate, and then you got to find the intersecting point of weight where that correct form with correct reps, with correct sets, and right amount of weight breaks the muscle down perfectly. But that's the very high detailed part. There's there's guys who've been training 10, 15 years that train at 20% because they don't understand proper tempo, muscle loading, tension, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
None of that really matters to the general lifter.
Yeah.
First thing that matters is form, because otherwise you're going to get injured. You're going to be sore all the time. You're going to get rotator cuff problems. You're going to not be able to bench. You're going to suffer at work, and you're going to feel shit all the time.
Yeah.
So get your form A1. Once the form's good, then you start playing with all the other millions of variables.
Yeah.
But he's bang on. If you have terrible form, you're never going to lift any proper weight.
Yeah.
So that's always number one.
Yeah, right.
It's like having a car without an engine. There's no point going anywhere because your engine's not in the car. It's not going to do anything for you. You can't get up the hill.
Yeah, fuck
Form is numero uno.
Yeah.
But you know who's very good for motivation unintentionally? Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, Ronnie motivation. It's just him screaming.
What's that Ronnie Coleman one?
It's things like...
Lightweight, baby.
yeah, that. But his mentality was like, he just didn't have another option.
Yeah.
One of his best quotes is someone backstage was like, "How many times you cheat on your diet this year, Ronnie, leading up to the show?" And he's like, "What do you mean? I don't cheat on my diet." He's like, what is a cheat? He didn't even think about it the whole time through the diet. It just wasn't one of those things he thought about.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about the cheat. He wakes up and it's not like, "Oh, I don't want to train today." It's like,
not about breaking it.
I have to train today.
Yeah,
He doesn't have the other option in his brain circuit.
Yeah.
He never looks one direction. He always just stays focused. Same with Jay Cutler. He just had that whole mentality of being the hardest worker always. And it got him to the point where he was beating the best guys in the world because he just worked that little bit extra harder.
Did Jake guy end up winning Olympia?
Yeah, 4 times.
Fucking hell.
He's one of the only guys that ever beat Ronnie Coleman.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Olympia, eh? I just know when it comes around, it's fascinating to like watch people fan over these guys.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's progressed. That's good. It's progressed dramatically from like, if you look at the guys winning now versus the guys winning 10 years ago, Ronnie Coleman was like 6'2".
Yeah.
And the guy that just won was 5'6".
Who?
Hardy Chupin. And then second was,
I thought C-Bum won Olympia.
he does classic physiques. That's different division. So you got two divisions. So the opens bodybuilding, which is like the big dogs. And then you got the classic physique guys, which are tight waist, big upper bodies, to the C-Bums.
Yeah.
So his physique is like, he's a big boy, but if you put a hoodie and track pants on him and he walks around, he just looks like a pretty heavy set guy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you put a tracksuit and hoodie on someone like Andrew Jack, he walks in the room, you're like, holy fuck, look at that guy.
Yeah.
Like he's massive. Like you put a 10XL
Because he's mad top heavy?
Nah, his legs are ginormous as well.
Right.
You put a 5XL pair of sweatpants and you'll see the lines and veins through his legs.
Yeah.
It's like Stan versus me.
Yeah.
Stan's opens bodybuilding, I do classic.
Yeah, right.
So he's got that crazy, like freaky mass monstery sort of look. He's got huge arms, big shoulders, massive legs, whereas classic physique is generally the taller guys, tighter waist, broader proportions.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Fuck yeah. Now, quickly, let's
Yeah.
run through it because you're fucking. I'd imagine you're mad tired at the moment. Eh?
Nah, I'm sweet.
People don't say, it, bro. I got burnt out yesterday
Yeah.
from because I've been here a few nights editing podcasts and then editing my own podcast as well. Football, trying to fucking just have a conversation with my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And then I've been at your gym as well.
Yeah.
I was like to my mum, I had mad burnout yesterday. Like I crashed in the afternoon. But anyway, sidetracked. I don't even know what I was gonna fucking ask. Jesus Christ, Jake. Oh, right. Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
So during this week, I think
Yeah.
I entered your gym. Was it last Saturday or Saturday? No, Saturday before because I went to
Saturday.
Gold Coast
Yeah.
last weekend. Right. I entered your gym. Let's give it a plug. Body Beyond Health Club, right?
Yep.
Let's say someone walks into the doors.
Yep.
To the right, we have the sup shop,
Yep. So
which
Body-
has
everything. So Body Beyond Penrith is it's the main sub shop. So Stan started a little shake shop in Mount Druitt.
Yeah.
Turned that into a big sub shop. In Mount Druitt, moved it to Penrith, opened in Narellan, Richmond. There's also franchisees, Ballina, Brisbane, everywhere now. So he's grown it into this massive business.
Yeah.
And Penrith is like the big dog shop. That's the mecca. So it's got the most stock out of all of them. It's where we run all of our coaching out of.
Yeah.
To where Stan is primarily, which is a big thing as well. That's now located in the gym. So you turn into the gym, first thing you see is to the right, 35 meters of supplements, clothing, 3 of us sitting at the counter, doing diets, doing coaching. So in that gym internally, we've moved that whole business in there. So it's a cemented, pretty much a one-stop shop, everything supplements, fitness, coaching.
Everything Body Beyond.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole shop has just grown. We outgrew the store we're in, so now we have 2 check-in rooms rather than 1, so I can go and sit in there with a client while Stan's doing a check-in as well.
Yeah.
We have way more stock down the hall. We've got all of our clothing in there. Everything's just set up how we needed it to be.
Yeah.
Then you turn left. We got the counter, which is going to have a coffee machine on it because a few of my staff are trained baristas.
Yeah.
That's got a full counter that has all of our gym stuff sitting behind it. You keep walking, you've got a little in-caved section where it's got microwaves so you can heat your food up. It's got seating around there so you can sit, eat, chill out, do all that sort of stuff pre-post session. If you turn to the right, you've got the massive long wall of the sup shop, which runs horizontal
Back
all
at
the
the
way
front
down
we
gym.
are now.
Yeah, so back at the front, turning right, you're looking horizontal all the way down the big long wall of the sup shop. So that runs down. Halfway along, there's a parallel wall, which has that back section in it where you can see your own back way train with the angled mirror up high and then the other mirror adjacent.
Yeah.
You go down there, turn to the right, full posing room, decked out. I'm going to put some lounges in there, maybe put a TV so you can go and chill, sit down, and can watch the footy if we want.
Yeah.
Bathrooms, turn back, you look back into the gym, there's 100+ pieces of equipment, which most gyms don't have more than 60. We've got everything just because we went a bit crazy. Like if there was, most gyms are limited to certain brands. So the independent gyms like us, like Revos, they can choose whatever they want. They can have any brand of equipment.
Yeah.
Whereas things like Anytime Plus Fitness, they're limited to Life Fitness, Matrix, shit like that, Hammer Strength.
Yeah.
We got like 10+ different brands of equipment in our gym. So I can just go crazy. If I like a leg press from this brand, but not from this one, I'll go buy this one.
Yeah.
And I'll get rid of that one.
Yeah.
And so I got just equipment on equipment everywhere. Turn back to the right, there's a big jiu-jitsu area, which has got full matted flooring, matted sides. We're looking for like coaches, anyone that wants to do, they can either rent it out full time, have that as their whole operation, or I'm just going to hire a bunch of coaches to come and run classes out of there as well.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much it. Mirrors everywhere, sound system's unreal. It's all going up, which is good.
Yeah. It looks good, bro. It does.
Yeah,
There's so much going on.
Yeah, two weeks ago it was a full construction site. It was empty. The walls were shattered to pieces and looked like shit. And then everyone just hooked in hard. It's like ground up carpentry. Rico, he's one of my good mates.
Yeah.
He was in there just night and day, every single day. Got that whole supplement shop built in about a week and a half.
Yeah, nice.
It's like a full month worth of work he did in a week and a half.
Yeah.
And to the like perfection as well. The quality's unreal.
Yeah.
So the guys like that, like you boys coming in like post hours, like real late at night, cleaning up, fixing up, things like that. Chief coming in doing carpentry work in the middle of the night, stuff like
Yanni.
that. Yanni, he's built all the shelving in that sub shop.
Yeah.
And they've just made it possible and made it quick as well.
Yeah.
So like the whole revamp sort of time, if you were to do this commercially with proper, like how you would normally do it, proper contracts, it would have taken probably 2.5 months to get this gym set up. But we're in the mind that we want to open as quick as we can because it's not my gym or Stan's gym. It's everybody's gym that they're going to train in. So I want you to come and say like, this is my gym.
Yeah.
I want you to have a part in there. If you do your transformation, I'm going to chuck you straight up on the wall, because a lot of gyms have like professional bodybuilders. We want it to be Penrith. We want it to be our clients, our friends up on those walls. We want to celebrate them a bit more. So
How cool, right?
we're going to chuck that up there, which is good.
Proud of you, man.
Thank you, brother.
It's been a journey, eh?
It has. I'm proud of you. Our last podcast was on a lounge and I had a microphone. Now, like, I had to hold it and I kept fucking pulling away from it. Like, Jake. This is like a nice setup. You've done very well for yourself.
Look, it's not mine, but
but you
to still get into the opportunity.
Yeah,
It's been a fucking process.
yeah.
But
No, you've done very, very well.
look, man, we're just a bunch of kids from Wimley.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day, very much when I was growing up. So for people listening, Wimley is like a town. It used to be called North Springwood. Wimley is the indigenous word for to the north. So it's basically, if you're driving through the mountains, you have Springwood. To the right, around 5-10 Ks is Wimley. We have a service station. We have a Coles. The Coles is pretty deluxe. We have a high school, all that shit. It's not that big of a town, right? I think 10,000 people would maybe.
Yeah, sounds about right.
If you include
then,
like Yellow Rock and
yeah.
shit as like a subsidiary,
Yeah,
because they
true.
are our children.
Yeah.
But so you have Wimley, and in reality, like the only guy from the mountains that or even grew up in Wimley was the guy who created Nudie Juice.
Oh,
Went to school, mum.
yeah.
That's how I knew.
Okay.
And then you have like Blinky Bill from Warramoo.
Yeah.
You have Fundamentals from Katoomba. Eisenhuth who's at the Storm. Like I always growing up was like, I want to match their level of positive influence on people.
Yeah.
How do I do that? I don't fucking know. Still don't know. Just trying, right?
Yeah. You're doing pretty good, to be honed, because you got your word out there. And
But Blinky Bill's a pretty fucking hard thing to live up to.
Yeah, everyone knows Harris. That's the thing. Like you come into the gym and there'll be some random tradie there. You're like, oh, Harrison.
Yeah,
how you
fact.
going?
Yeah, big fact.
Yeah.
It's because, you know what? My dad always told me is like when you walk into a room, you always announce yourself. You always, like, not in an arrogant way, but you go up to every single fucking person you can see and you go, hey, my name is.
Yeah.
And you just like, yeah.
Good relationships.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot of good relationships with a lot of people, which has progressed you forward quite well.
Because I'm interested in what they're doing.
Yeah, and you're an interesting person as well because you remember what they're doing. Like you'll come up to someone you haven't seen in a year and a half. You're like, oh, how's the fucking boat going?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, it's good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. One thing I learned from young is like, if you want to get to know someone, actually listen to what they're saying. Don't wait to speak. It's a big thing a lot of young men do, eh? They wait to speak because they think they've got something real
You can
important
tell
to say.
as well because you can see it in their eyes that they're not absorbing any of the information you're saying. And then by the time that like you'll be talking and all of a sudden they ask you a question halfway through.
Yeah.
And you're generally answering the question they fucking asked you.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's
You'd get that a bit, eh?
yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Someone will ask me a question and be like, it's generally the guys that want the gear advice, like
Yeah,
steroids
yeah.
and stuff. They'll ask me about it. I'll start talking to them. I'll start telling them, and they're not getting the answer they want. They want to hear do more, get bigger.
Yeah.
I'll start telling them about absorption rates and micro dosing, and then like halfway through, they'll be like, "What else can I run?" I'm like, "Okay, let's not talk about other compounds yet. Let's talk about this first. We'll get this one nailed."
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, "Okay, I was thinking about Deca." Like, shut the fuck up. And for the
Because
most
they
part,
hear, like, they see someone who's done it.
absolutely, yeah,
And then, well, we saw it the other day. We won't name who, but like,
Yeah.
he went off seeing someone do that. It's
Yeah.
It works across the board for like so many blokes. They just
Yeah.
see another bloke who's big, muscly, and they go like, "What are you using?"
yeah. Well, bro, the equivalent is seeing someone in the Premier League and thinking you buy the same boots as him, you're gonna be in the Premier League. It just doesn't happen. You don't understand that this guy that's doing well is eating 9 times a day.
Yeah.
He's not partying. He doesn't drink anymore. He doesn't do drugs. He's in the gym 6
Yeah.
times a week. And it sounds like, yeah, I get into the gym 6 times a week. He's in there training properly 6 times a week. You can eat 9 times a day. He's eating good 9 times a day.
Yeah.
It's like a big, big difference. And even the mentality of being dedicated to the sport versus just wanting it because someone else wants it or you want to just look good. There's plenty of guys that want to look good. They don't look good.
Yeah.
And there's guys that don't care about how they look. They just love training. They look phenomenal.
Yeah,
So that's the big difference.
Yeah.
You can't just take. There's no miracle, nothing.
yeah. It's
Stuff that
fucking-
gets you pretty
it's
close
work,
if
eh?
you utilize it properly. But the other thing is you can have a miracle drug that you have to take orally and you'll get some guy rubbing it on his fucking skin.
Yeah,
It's not going to work like that. You have to utilize things properly. Even it doesn't matter how good it is. If you don't use it right, it's not going to work.
yeah. I say the same thing for like when people mention. So I'll go to the pub, right? You know,
Yeah.
I don't go to the pub anywhere near as much as I used to. But like I'll go to the pub and one of the younger boys or like someone from school will be like, "Oh, I saw you with this person and did a podcast." Jordan Simmy's a good example, right? like, oh, I see you did a podcast with Jordan Simi. How lucky or something. I go like in my head, I'm like, oh fuck, man, like this is not. There are so many hours behind me networking.
Yeah.
To get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's very much the same with like that whole.
Well, Jack Ree, remember Jack Ree?
Yeah,
he's one of my clients now. He's unreal. He gave me an unreal quote the other week, and I've been thinking about it. He said,
He's done well for himself.
The harder you work, the luckier you are.
Yeah.
So your luck is it's a compounded
100%,
interest of how hard you worked to get that lucky position. Because you can work hard and not get lucky, and all your hard work goes down the bin, or you can get lucky. You can work, you can't work at all and get lucky. Generally, if you don't work and you get lucky, you're never going to use that opportunity as good.
Yeah.
But you work hard, you get lucky, and it builds from there.
Yeah. You learn,
Yeah.
every opportunity you get. Because I fucked up some. Yeah.
It happens.
And,
I fucked up a lot as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you just like take a step back. You're like, all right, this is what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Go again, fix it. But yeah, bro, back to the point. Holy shit. Wimberley, right?
Yeah.
So I think of the mountains and I look at fundamentals and I look at like Blinky Bill guy, Nitty Juice, Tom Eisenhuth. Forgive me if I'm forgetting anyone. I just look at that, or like
Riley Kennedy.
Can't. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so you look at them and I go like, I'd like to have the same positive influence as them, right? But with what you're doing, I feel like you're on that track. Because when I look at it, bro, when I walked in, I actually like messaged Dad. I was like, this thing is like fuck. And I messaged Mum. Actually, I sent Mum a video.
Yeah.
It's like, this thing is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy, bro. And imagine like, it's a long way down the track, but you never know what this business can become, you know?
Yeah.
But like that gym itself reminds me of something you'd see in LA. And in a good way. In a really good way. It's like an old fashioned fucking gym.
Yeah.
It's like you're here to work out. You're here to get a good pump on. Like, you know what I mean?
We want that community element where you get excited to go work out every night.
Yeah.
And we're trying to build a gym that has all the new nice stuff, but also has all the old stuff.
Like an aesthetic to it.
Yeah, all the user-friendly stuff. And we've got a really big space to be able to have it all.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's one of those things where every time I walk in, I like get another shock. Like, fuck, this place is huge.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where we went from that Richmond place, which was about, I think total was 550 square meters, to a place 3 times the size, and we're probably spending about the same money.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it still hasn't quite hit me yet. But like I had Mum and Dad came in, and Dad sort of had a grasp because he went over a lease agreement for us.
Yeah.
Of how big
Shout
it was
out
going to
Greg.
be. Yeah. But then when he actually got in there, he's like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And everyone gets a little bit of a shock.
Because when people say it in square meters, you don't grasp it.
Yeah. It's shit. I threw a tennis ball the other day and I couldn't hit the other side.
I threw one too and I only went like 10 meters. It was bad.
About 2 meters and hit the fucking ground. Yeah, it's one of those places where like I'll be standing there, my tradesman will be 3/4 of the place and 3/4 of the way across the gym, and I'll yell something and he'll be like, what?
Yeah.
And I'll fucking yell it again. He's like, can't hear you, mate. And I have to
Yeah.
fucking walk over and talk to him.
Nuts.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's better than we could have ever imagined, which is good. And the other thing is like not a lot of people knew like that. A lot of people, we had a lot of pre-sign-offs, which was mad.
Yeah.
They were trusting us. They didn't know if it was going to be some shitty little studio in the back of Penrith. All they knew is we were opening a gym and we're taking memberships.
Yeah.
That's it. They didn't realize the space we got was massive and fit out. They didn't realize it already has mirrors, equipment, flooring, everything done.
Yeah.
The bathrooms in there are incredible. They're really like nice. They've all got showers, ironing boards, hair dryers, straighteners, that sort of stuff. They were just trusting us, which we love them for that. But up until recently, not a lot of people expected us to be able to pull something like this off. It's not that they didn't trust us or didn't.
It's a mission, bro.
It's a mission. They didn't expect that 2 guys like Stan, born in St. Clair, I was born in Wembley. They didn't expect like us 2 to be able to do something like this.
Yeah.
Like it's the type of gym that you open is your 3rd gym. You know what I mean? You open this little one, grows into a bigger thing, and then use the profit for those 2 to open something like this.
Yeah.
This is a big starting spot. But we just worked really hard for it, and we ended up getting it, which is nice.
Yeah. But I reckon people that like from school and just from like growing up, they'd come in and be like, Jake, what the fuck? Like this is.
Yeah.
It's
I
like a
still do
mecca.
it every time. Yeah, I hope so. That's what we're trying to build.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But I want it to be not Jake, this is nuts. I want it to be like the gym I get to train is unreal.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be like my gym's awesome. Come see my gym. And like people bring their mates in to come see their gym. The other things I want to get them like signing the walls and signing parts of the flooring and stuff, so that you come in and you're part of this gym now. That's the other thing about like putting them up on the walls and stuff. gyms have like prep clients or that sort of thing, which is really nice. But we also want transformations. We want middle-aged mums. We want kids that have lost 30, 40 kilos up on that wall as well. So you come in, it feels like your gym now. It's not just Jake and Stan's gym. It's our gym. It's everyone's gym.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a big community. We'll be able to do it. Like the other night when we were stocking the sub shop, I made 2 calls and then I called 2 people. And then an hour and a half later, there's 15 people in the shop stocking it with me.
Yeah.
That was just because like Yanni turns up, Rico comes because Yanni's there. Liam turns up, he brings Manning and Zoffel.
Yeah.
You turn up, all the boys come in because you're there.
Yeah.
Jack turns up, Jesse turns up, Till's there, Scotty brings his missus, and everyone just comes together. And everyone's got a big smile on their face.
Yeah.
Like Yanni's walking around, he's like, I fucking love this place.
Yeah.
And it's like half built and there's fucking dust everywhere. He's like, I can't fucking wait to train here. And it's because he knows he built it and he was part of this community. And I want everyone to have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Which would be good.
It's crazy, bro. That's what I said to, I think I said something to the younger boys. It was like fucking, was it the younger boys? It was like Chief, maybe. It's like, fuck, like just soak this in, eh? Because like this will be a finished product and it will be beautiful. Yeah. But you'll have the pride of seeing it in progression.
100%. Yeah. I've been bringing heaps of people in to show them, get them on the machines because I want them to test it. I want them to know what it's like in this building process because this will, once it's done, we won't have this again until we open another one.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make the most of it. I'm there with the tradies all day, joking, having fun, building shit.
Yeah. Shouting lunches.
Yeah. Heaps of Greek food. Shout out George.
Yeah.
Best Greek food in Penrith. But we're trying to make the most of this experience because once it's finished, like people will be training there, which would be mad.
Yeah.
But a lot of people coming in won't understand the hustle we had and the friendship we had building this place together, which was really good.
Yeah.
Like the thing is like you walking, Rico walking, he'll know he built that wall. He built those check-in rooms. I'll look up and I'll see that real fucked up bit of paint. I'm like, I know I did that. I know I fucked that up.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's a beautiful thing, eh?
It is. Yeah, adds character.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's wrap it up, bro.
Done.
Body Beyond Health Club should be open by the time. If not, it'll be open the week after, I'd imagine.
I can't give a date. I have been giving dates, which is
this will be on the 26th.
26th. It'll be hopefully the 21st is the day I'm hoping to open. So by the time this comes out, we should be in motion. Yeah, which would be good.
Yeah, pending all life happens. Who knows?
Everything that's booked in is booked in now, and there's nothing else to come after that.
Yeah.
So all my equipment should be in by next Monday. All my mirrors done by Thursday. And the thing is, I ordered certain pieces of equipment have a lead time of like 6-7 months, and I ordered them 4 or 5 months ago in preparation. Yeah. So as the gym opens, there'll be new shit coming in every single week for the first few weeks as well. Yeah. And then the way we just love buying shit. So we'll be restocking, revamping. If someone comes in like, hey bro, you got to get this piece of equipment, I'll start looking for it straight away. Yeah. And then coming weeks, I'll get it straight in.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So that's the plan. So even though the gym will be done, it'll be continuously being revamped, which is what Revos does so well. You walk in, there's a new piece of equipment every week. Yeah. Like they just absolutely nail it, and like they're unreal. So that's the other thing with all my marketing and stuff. I said you don't go anywhere near Emu Plains. You don't target them at all because I want our 2 gyms to be the 2 gyms. Yeah. And we couldn't compete anyway. He's too good. He's too good at everything he does. He fucking nails it. Yeah. So yeah, he's like a lot of our inspiration in doing this gym as well. Big Paulie, Baz, Maddie, all those boys. They're just unreal, and they smashed it.
Yeah, they have
they really have. Yeah, they're the premier gym. I still got my membership there. I'm still going to train there. Yeah, Even though I've got a gym, I'm still going to pop in every now and then because fuck, they got some good equipment. Yeah, and nostalgia as well. 100%,
yeah. So Body Beyond Health Club, Body Beyond HC on Instagram, Body Beyond on Instagram, Jake Ayers _ Yeah. Pretty sure.
_ Jake Ayers.
_ Jake Ayers. JakeAyers. Yeah. Fuck yeah. And Helos & Co on Instagram, of course. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on Spotify if you'd like. helosandco.com to support. Thank you for watching, and be back next week with another episode.
Done. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Oh, good out.